Okay, welcome to this SoundMill announcements demo. And what we're going to show you is a modular approach for creating announcement scripts that you can use to combine with music programming used in stores, intermission at shows, public venues, whatever. So, first thing we'll do is create some sound items from some message audio files that I have here, and these can be you can record your own in MP3 or WAV format, really any of the formats that SoundMill supports, or there are websites where you can order professionally produced announcements. So I've got four here. One for becoming a member to an organization. One might be a sales item that you want to promote. You want to announce an upcoming event or give instructions on how to visit your website. So these are examples of things that you might want to create announcements to interject into your music programming. So first thing I'll do is name the sound list, and you want to give it something that's logically that you can logically recognize the list, so when you save it, kind of reminds you of what's in it. So we'll just call this one November announcements, and now we'll go to the options menu. I want to show you a few options that are used in the automatic creation of these announcements. First thing you can do is separate your announcement from the music programming by giving it a buffer of silence before and after the announcement plays, and you can change the amount. I've got it set here for 3 seconds before and after, and especially if the announcements are timed rather than inserted between the music programming, that's useful. And then a couple other things that are useful. You can set the start time for scheduled announcements. I've set it here for 1 o'clock, and you'll see later in the demo how that's used. And also the interval time for when you create an interval set of announcements, and we've got that set for 2 minutes, so you'll see how that's used later on. Alright, now what we'll do is, now we've got our sound list built, let's go to the Automator and create some scripts for these announcements. So there are 4 types of announcement scripts that you can create. One is for inserts, interval announcements, offset timed, and scheduled. And when you go to create these, you can either automatically select all the sound items in your list, or you can pick individual sound items to create custom lists. So we'll just use all the sound items, and I'll go through here and create a script for each type. And so now you can see we've got a script for each type of announcements. Now let's explain what those are. Let's start with the insert announcements. Bring up the script editor here, and you can see there's a play step for each of the announcements, and using this edit steps button you can rearrange the list. The insert announcements checkbox has been pre-checked here, and with insert announcements, when this script executes, these items don't play immediately, they go onto an announcement stack. And in the case of insert announcements, every time a music track ends, one of these announcements will play in between the music tracks, and it'll cycle through the list. When it reaches the end, it'll cycle back to the beginning and just continue to cycle until the music stops. Okay. Let's talk about the interval announcements next. So if I edit that script, Again, you can see there are play steps for each of the sound items in the list, and the interval is set for 2 minutes. You recall in the options we set the amount of default interval that would be created. So if you change that in the announcement, next time you create an announcement list, the interval will change. The interval checkbox is checked down here to indicate that it's interval announcements, and you can change this amount for this script by just clicking on the interval change button there. Let's just change this to 3 minutes. So now all of these interval announcements will play at 3 minutes apart. And the way an interval announcement works is these get put on the announcement stack, and that every time the interval expires, an announcement will play. So it'll suspend the music, play the announcement, and then the music will continue. Okay, the next type of announcement, we'll talk about the scheduled announcements, and I'll bring up the script editor, and you can see that all of these announcements were scheduled to start at a certain time. So it started at 1 o'clock, and again that was the default that we set in the options dialog, and you can see now that they're scheduled 2 minutes apart, and that was the other item that we had set in the options, the 2-minute interval. So if you want to reset any of these individual items, you can go to the step editor, and let's say in this case we want this one to start at 2 o'clock. Just click OK, and so now it's rescheduled for 2. This is especially useful if you have items that need to be scheduled at a certain time. For instance, building closing in 10 minutes, building closing in 5 minutes, etc. You can set these up so they'll fire off at an exact time. And then for the final type, let's look at the offset announcements. I'll bring that up in the script editor, and you can see each item has been scheduled at an offset time. So again, it used the default offset of 2 minutes and set these at 2, 4, 6, and 8. So essentially these will play once, and they'll play this offset amount of time from the time that this script is executed. So if it's the first thing executed in your master script, these items would play at 2 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, and 8 minutes after this script executes. And that pretty much we've showed everything. The final thing you want to do is save this, and it's going to save it as November announcements. In this case, we've got to replace the existing one, and that's it. Now this sound list is ready to be combined with a set of music selections, and we'll show you that in another demo. So thanks for joining, and remember to join the user forum to meet other users and share solutions and ideas. Thanks.